It had been over a year since Lena and I had spent an entire weekend together. Life just happened, work, relationships, excuses. So when she texted, "Girls' night," no maybes. I packed a bag and drove across the city with a bottle of wine and a half smile. Missed her. We used to be inseparable. Her apartment looked the same. Scattered cushions, candles that smelled like cinnamon and summer. She greeted me at the door with a messy bun and open arms. "Ugh. It's been too long," she groaned, pulling me into a hug that lingered. We sat on the floor with our legs crossed like teenagers again, sipping wine straight from the bottle, swapping stories, laughs, heartbreaks. She talked fast, like someone unbottling months of buried thoughts. Then she said his name. Dante. My stomach flipped, though I kept my face smooth. "He's out of the picture." "Finally," she said, her voice sharp but wounded. God, he was so full of himself. I nodded slowly, swirling the wine. "Didn't see that coming. You two were toxic, passionate, a disaster," she cut in. "I stayed longer than I should have. But he was good at distracting me." She didn't need to elaborate. I knew what she meant. Everyone who ever saw Dante understood what kind of distraction he could be. Broad shoulders, voice like smoke, eyes that studied you like a puzzle he had every intention of solving. I'd only been around him a handful of times. Lena had a rule: no female friends too close to Dante. I never tested that line. But it didn't stop me from noticing, from remembering. Later that night we got invited to a rooftop party at Milo's place. A mutual friend. Lena was in the mood to dress up and show off. I let her curl my hair and lend me a tighter than usual dress. I didn't ask who might be there. I didn't want to seem too interested. The city skyline looked like glass under moonlight as we stepped onto the rooftop. Laughter, drinks, neon reflections off wine glasses. It felt cinematic. Then I saw him. Across the deck, holding a drink like it owed him something, leaning against the rail. He looked even better than I remembered. Cleaner beard, new tattoos peeking from his collar, same brooding energy. He didn't see me at first. I should have looked away. But I didn't. Eyes met. Just for a moment. But long enough. He tilted his head slightly. No smile. Just acknowledgement. Like he remembered too. "Want another drink?" Lena asked, tugging my arm. I nodded, forcing a grin, but I could still feel his eyes on me as we walked away. The next hour blurred. Music, polite conversations, watching Lena laugh too hard at someone's joke. I kept looking over my shoulder, not searching, just aware. The air felt heavier every time he stepped into my peripheral vision. Eventually I excused myself and went inside looking for water. The kitchen was dim, lit only by under-cabinet lights and the fridge glow. I opened the fridge door and leaned in, grateful for the cool air. "Still wine," a voice said behind me. I didn't need to turn. He knew. "Trying to hydrate before I regret the fourth glass," I replied, grabbing a bottle of water and slowly standing upright. He stepped closer. I could feel it, not touching me but invading the space around me. Like gravity had shifted. "You look good," he said. Simple. Honest. I turned to face him, keeping the bottle between us like a barrier. "You too. Heard you and Lena broke up." "We did." No excuses. No drama. Just confirmation. There was a silence, tight and electric. "I didn't think I'd see you again," I said. He studied me for a moment, eyes trailing from my face down to my neckline, then back up, calculated but unashamed. "Neither did I," he said. "But I'm glad I did." I opened the water bottle, took a sip, trying to calm the blood rush beneath my skin. The silence grew louder. Footsteps outside the kitchen faded. No one was coming. "I should get back out there," I muttered. He didn't move. "I remember the first time I saw you," he said, voice low. "You were wearing jeans and a faded red t-shirt. You didn't say a word to me. But I noticed everything." I swallowed hard. "I wasn't allowed to notice you," he added. "And now?" I asked, breath catching in my throat. His gaze darkened. Now I'm not sure I care what I'm allowed to do. I should have walked away right then. I should have shoved open the patio door and drowned myself in the crowd again. I should have found Lena and laughed loudly beside her, pretending nothing had ever stirred inside me. But I didn't. Dante didn't move when I said I should go. He simply looked at me like the idea of resisting him was laughable. And maybe it was. I've thought about this, he said, barely above a whisper. About you. About what it would feel like if we ever stopped pretending. My heart pounded against my ribs. I clenched the water bottle tighter, my fingers damp against the plastic. Lena's my friend, I said quietly, forcing the words out like they'd save me. She's my past. His tone didn't flinch. You don't owe her what you keep denying yourself. The truth struck me too clean. I didn't owe her anything beyond the loyalty we shared before the masks cracked. And I didn't owe myself this lie, that I hadn't wanted him to. Dante took one slow step closer. His hand reached past me, brushing my side as he shut the fridge. We were inches apart. I could smell his cologne, earthy, dark, familiar in a way that made my head spin. I didn't stop him when his fingers brushed a strand of hair behind my ear. I didn't step back when his hand lingered at the base of my neck. His lips were near my cheek, breath warm against my skin. You feel that, he whispered. Yes, I breathed. I turned toward him. Maybe slowly, maybe too fast, I couldn't tell. My body wasn't listening to logic anymore. Our lips met. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't sweet. It was a storm, raw and unspoken. All the silence we'd practiced around each other shattered with that kiss. His hands explored like they were claiming, not asking. And I let him. I dropped the water bottle to the counter and clutched his shirt like I needed it to stay upright. We stumbled into the hallway. His mouth never leaving mine, fingers tracing every exposed inch of my waist. He pushed open the guest bathroom door, pulled me inside, and locked it with a soft click. Here? I asked, breathless. His reply came in the form of lips pressing to my neck, hands sliding up my thigh. I should have said no. I knew it. But my mouth didn't say a thing. Because his hands were saying everything. He lifted me onto the counter, lips traveling like they knew where I ached without asking. Every time he touched me, something uncoiled. Something I had buried under years of rules, restraint, and fake smiles. His mouth moved lower, more urgent, more focused. I clung to the edge of the counter, gasping for air and biting back sound. There was only dim light from a night lamp, the occasional sound of music muffled through the door, and the rush of what we were doing. Wrong, dangerous, and completely out of control. Every inch of me burned. Every inch of him filled. I forgot how to think. I only knew how to feel. Somewhere between the gasps and the grip of his arms around me, I realized I wasn't just giving in. I was claiming him. This wasn't about Lena. This wasn't about loyalty or lines. It was about how he made me feel like I was the only person who existed. You're driving me crazy, he whispered, voice hoarse. Then don't stop, I breathed. And he didn't. He went deeper than I ever thought I could take. I held on to him like I'd been craving this for years, and maybe I had. Minutes felt like hours in that room. The air was thick with heat and the scent of want. The mirror fogged, the counter shook, and still we moved like two people trying to erase time. When it was over, we didn't speak right away. He helped me fix my dress, wiped the smeared gloss from my lip with his thumb, and stared at me like he was trying to memorize the way I looked. I didn't plan this, I whispered, voice shaky. I did, he said without hesitation. Not tonight. But always. I couldn't respond. Not yet. We stepped out of the bathroom separately. Me first, adjusting my hair, my breath shallow. The party was still going. The world had kept spinning. But I had changed. Because I had taken what wasn't mine. Because I had used every inch of something I could never keep. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept replaying everything. His hands, the heat, the sound of my breath tangled in his name. It was all too vivid, too real to dismiss as a mistake I could file away and forget. My phone buzzed before sunrise. Lena, you still asleep, witch? Last night was insane. Have gossip. Coffee later. My stomach twisted. I stared at the screen, thumbs hovering over the keyboard, unsure of what I was supposed to say. What could I say? Sure, Lena. Let's have coffee so I can lie to your face. Or maybe, let me tell you how I betrayed you in a locked bathroom 2 doors down. Instead, I typed back, sure. Noon. Then I turned off my phone. I stood in front of my mirror and looked at myself for a long time. Hair messy, skin flushed, lips still a little swollen from the night before. Was this what guilt looked like? Or did it only feel this loud on the inside? I thought about the way Dante looked at me, like I wasn't just a rebound or an accident, but something he'd wanted all along. The truth was, that part scared me more than anything, because it didn't feel like a one-time mistake. Felt like a beginning. We met at our favorite coffee shop, the one with honey-glazed croissants and acoustic covers playing low through old speakers. Lena looked radiant, hair pulled into a sleek bun, sunglasses perched on her head, smile wide and familiar. Girl, I had 3 people hit on me last night, she laughed. But guess who texted me at 2 a.m.? I didn't have to guess. Dante. She rolled her eyes, though a trace of a smile curled her lip. Men are so predictable. Honestly, part of me still wants to block him, but the other part. She trailed off, twirling her spoon in her coffee. What did he say? I asked, pretending not to know. My voice came out more fragile than I intended. A shrug. That he misses me. That he made a mistake. That he felt something last night. Blink. Felt something. I thought of his hands on me, his mouth, the way he held my face afterward like I was a secret he never wanted to lose. I was the thing he felt last night. Not Lena. Lena took a sip of her drink, completely unaware of the storm raging behind my eyes. Honestly, she said, I think it's just ego. I bet he saw me looking good and got jealous. That man doesn't want me. He just doesn't want to see me move on. I nodded, lips pressed tightly together. Maybe. Anyway, whatever. You were glowing last night too, by the way. She smiled, playful. You looked like you had a secret. I nearly choked on my breath. What? She giggled. Don't worry. I just mean your dress. That hair. Total main character energy. I was jealous. You'd be more than jealous if you knew, I thought. You'd be wrecked. The rest of the coffee date was small talk and surface-level laughs, but inside I felt like I was sitting across from someone I just betrayed in the worst possible way. And yet, there was a part of me, buried and quiet, that didn't feel sorry. That part still remembered how alive I felt. Oh, seen. How wanted. Later that night, alone in bed, my phone buzzed again. Dante. You okay? I stared at the message for a long time. Then another came. I meant every second of it. I could still feel him, like he'd left fingerprints across my skin and in places no one else had ever touched. Typed, deleted, retyped. Finally I sent. We can't do that again. He replied almost instantly. But you wanted it. You still do. I didn't answer. I turned off my phone, but the damage was already done. Because I had wanted it. I still did. And worse, I didn't know if I had the strength to stop wanting it. That night, I stood in front of the mirror again. I looked at the version of me that crossed a line I swore I never would. The version that didn't care about labels like friend or ex or off-limits. The version that let herself feel something forbidden, and liked it. I didn't cry. I didn't apologize to the silence. I just whispered to my reflection. You used every inch of him. But was it worth every inch of yourself?